Good morning, guys. Today is Testimony Tuesday, and for those who are just now watching, every Tuesday, I just like to make a quick video. Sometimes they're quick, sometimes they're not. Actually, the ones that I've just started making really haven't been quick videos at all. Testimony Tuesday is basically just a day of the week, just every week, just to reflect, just to look back and just say, hey, my situation really ain't that bad because I used to do this or I used to be this way. Like, hey, what more to be grateful for? What more way to be confident? What more way to just thank God that you grew? Because growth is important. Growth is something that maybe a lot of times we don't see until we actually sit down and just reflect. So today's Testimony Tuesday, and let's reflect. Okay, so today's topic, I just kind of want to reflect on the fact of this reflection. I just kind of want to bring it back and talk about just remembering feeling so uncomfortable, feeling less confident around other women who I felt like had it all the way together. And it's not even the fact that they had it all the way together, because I didn't know. It's just, I felt like back then I used to get this sense of inferior or whatever that word is. I just used to feel that when I used to be around women who, okay, so just saying, for instance, like back then, I wanted a full-time job. I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to just be that mom that just took care of business, that just had it together, like mentally, physically, just was in shape, going to the gym, just had all the motivation. And I just felt like when I used to be around women like that, it made me feel this small, and it made me so uncomfortable that I would just slowly disappear from that girl, from that woman. And, there used to be girls I used to be friends with, or I mean, not even girls I used to be friends with, girls who I am friends with now. They don't know who they are, but if they are watching this, I'm not going to tell you who you are. But back then, when I first met you, I mean, I'm a natural person who clings on to different environments, different people. So it's like I learned how to adapt. But it's still the feeling that I had deep down inside. Being around, if I didn't have it the same as what that girl or that woman may had, like deep down inside, even if I might appear as happy, or if I may appear as interested, or if I may appear as, I can relate. I really couldn't. Inside of me that just felt so insecure just talking. I know I wasn't the only one. Back then I was a girl going through this. I'm a whole woman now. But when I was a girl, I was so focused on trying to fit in. And fitting into the sense of wanting everything that a woman had. She has this entrepreneur mindset. She has goals. She has plans. Heck, you know what I mean. I wanted all of these things, but my mind and something inside of me, like I was not ready for that. And just being around a woman who had those things that I really desired, it made me slowly drift off away from her. And I started to make excuses. I started to say, oh, well, girl, not today. I already got plans, this and that and this and that. And I would just make excuses on not being around this girl or being around this woman because I wasn't secure within myself. I wish back then I had enough confidence to just not make those excuses and just feel okay with being uncomfortable, just so that I can bring up my level of confidence just by talking to a woman who was already confident in herself. So I was literally that girl who surrounded herself with girls that were just like herself. which I've learned now to progress in life. If I want to grow spiritually, if I want to grow physically, if I want to grow and cultivate, you need somebody, something. I was getting the concept of drawing nearer to God, but at the same time, God doesn't want us to be alone. We need friends. We need companionship. Somebody in our corner that will challenge us, somebody that will hold us accountable, somebody that will be that model, be that role model for us so that we can know how to behave, how to be a wife, how to be a friend, how to be, whatever title that we have. We need that person in our lives showing us how to be just that. And back then I was just so scared. I was so frightened. I felt so intimidated. I was scared to open up. I found myself babbling. My situation, woe is me. So worried about the things that I didn't have. And then I noticed the conversations that I would have with these women that were, more so going towards where I really wanted to go. I found myself making excuses for where I already was at. What I mean is that I was just like, oh, I may not live in a house. I may not dress like you. I may not, have this like you, or I may not have this like you, or I may not. No, that right there was just my insecure, my emotions was just everywhere. It's as if I would bash my own self in the conversations that I would have with other girls, other women. And it's not intended for us to have these deep conversations with other women or just other people in general and just down yourself or down the situation or down the season that you're in. And I can honestly say that was how I was. I would literally just have these conversations, just say, well, but I'm not there yet. I'm not this, and my situation is this, and oh, I wear this, but you wear that, and you're better than me, and I'm not better. That's basically how it was. And I was just so insecure about myself. I was so insecure about my situation. I was so insecure about just everything around me. And little did I know, I was the only one that had control to change it. So that was one thing that I wanted to reflect on today, was just the fact that even if there is somebody in your corner, don't be afraid to ask questions. Take notes. If you want to run a business, if you want a house, if you want to fix your credit, ask them how they did it. Don't just take in all this information and get jealous of them. Don't just sit there and just oh, well, good for you. I'm not there yet. Well, I'm not good enough to do that. I'm never going to get to that point. Don't do that. If it takes you to have a little notepad, if it takes you to call somebody, or maybe somebody that knows somebody that's already where you want to be, take notes, ask them questions. It won't hurt. And then along with that, when you ask people questions, never assume an opinion that person may not even have against you. If you asking somebody questions, don't have it in your head dang, this must be a stupid question. They gonna think I'm dumb for asking this. I should already know this. No. You know what that is? That's the enemy trying to tell you that you aren't worthy enough, that you aren't smart enough, that you aren't pretty enough, whatever it is. He's just telling you repeatedly, if you keep questioning or having these negative thoughts in your head when you're trying to learn something new or when you're trying to do better, you can't allow those negative thoughts to overpower where you actually need to go. Because none of it's true. None of it's true. You are worthy. You are pretty enough. You are able to do whatever you put your mind to. And just think, if you think it, then you should be it. Now, I gotta find that scripture. Okay, another thing is, Don't allow your insecurities to block you from success. Even if you may feel some type of way or notice a feeling you have about yourself that you know you need to work on, don't allow it to stop you from making friends, especially friends who can help you get to where you need to go, or just to get you out of that funky way of thinking about yourself. Like if you have friends who are out here, maybe who has a degree, who's out here helping out the community, who's involved in church, or who's involved in different groups, and who, whatever it may be, if you have a friend who is actually out here about their business, who's out here minding their own business, who's out here growing, who's out here not doing everything that everybody else is doing, don't think just because you're not at that level that you're never going to get there. You can. And if that person really is your friend, then they will help you get there. Like, people help people. Like, we have to help each other. We have to help each other get to where we need to go. And just know that when you do feel uncomfortable, when you do feel intimidated, or whatever that feeling you get around somebody who may be doing more than what you feel like that you're doing, allow that uncomfortableness, allow that intimidation to grow you. Like, whatever that feeling is, just put it on the back burner and just take in the conversations, take in that company that you're having with that person. Just try not to think of all the negatives of what you have or what you've already gone through, and just pay attention to how that person operates. Like, maybe you're having issues with coming up with different meals to cook your family. Like, look to see what that other person's doing. Like, maybe they're prepping their meals, maybe they are cooking more healthier, or maybe they are whatever it is. Sometimes, what really helped me, I had to buy a planner. A planner really helped me to keep track of the upcoming events that I have, even setting daily alarm clocks. Like, Khalil knows at 7:45 it's time to eat. At 8:10 you better be done eating and we doing your homework. At 8:45 it's time to take a shower, and so forth. Like, sometimes it takes you, or maybe it takes somebody to show you that that is what you need to do. Or even sometimes you have to know what helps you, and you have to just stick with it and just do it, just so that you can grow your own confidence in yourself. And even while growing your own confidence in yourself, even with feeling intimidated and being around people who you may think that already has it all the way together, which, nobody's perfect. It really doesn't help constantly being around or being hooked up with people who do you no good, who doesn't even challenge you, who doesn't make you become a better you, and who doesn't hold you accountable. So if you are constantly around those type of people, what makes you think that you're going to get out of that funk? What makes you think that you are going to grow? And it's important to change your environment, change who you're around, change who you're listening to, because that will also affect how you feel about your own self. Yeah, I just hope that my reflection, my little testimony, well, a part of my testimony, because I have many things, many stories to tell, just many things that I've learned, many things that I've overcome, like many things that I would like to share that really helped me become or get to where I am today. So I'm still growing, I'm still learning. So I'm not a preacher. I guess I'm a teacher, a motivational speaker. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm just here just to get this off my chest, because it just feels good. It feels good to just talk. It feels good to actually sit down and just think about the things that you no longer do anymore. Because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget where we came from. And that's one thing that we shouldn't do, because that will allow us to just continue to look at other people as if we're any better, when just last week you just did the same thing as what they did or whatever it may be. But yeah, I just want to encourage like all the women, because I know I can't be the only one that experienced this. Like, you know, we have to do better for ourselves. And we have to do better with each other and stop feeling intimidated. And we have to stop running away from the feeling of being uncomfortable. Because uncomfortable is a good thing. Well, sometimes. It depends. It depends on the situation. But I know that in my situation, when I was feeling uncomfortable around women who are already doing things that I really, really wanted to do or really desired, that's not good to feel that way. That's not good to just run away from somebody who's here to help you, or somebody's here to show you how to manage. So I just want to encourage everybody, like, just test that out. Like, I mean, heck, yeah. Oh, and I also wanted to say, I don't mind if you choose to like or share this video, but I do request that, you know, just start commenting. Just start, if you've experienced the same thing, like, let's talk about these things. Thank you.